Zara, my sister is wealthy now. You'll live like a princess. Those were the last words 13-year-old Zara heard before her world shattered completely. The dusty bus wheezed to a stop in Lagos's suffocating evening heat. Zara's trembling hands clutched the crumpled note containing her aunt's address. Her heart hammered with desperate hope as she stepped onto the unforgiving concrete. This is it, she thought, my chance at a real life. The towering gates before her gleamed like golden promises. A security guard's cold eyes pierced through the metal bars. Who are you looking for, village girl? I'm here to see Aunt Belinda. I'm Zara, her niece. His disgusted sneer made her stomach drop. Without a word, he yanked the gate open. The compound stole her breath away. 6 luxury cars sparkled like jewels in perfect rows. The mansion loomed like a palace from her wildest dreams. Mother was right. Zara's heart sang, I'm finally going to be happy. The front door burst open with theatrical drama. Aunt Belinda emerged draped in golden silk, dripping with diamonds. But her face was twisted with pure hatred. You're late. Belinda's voice cracked like a whip. I sent transport money a week ago. What took you so long? Zara's voice trembled like a frightened bird. I came as fast as I could, Auntie. Belinda's laugh was sharp enough to draw blood. Get inside and wipe those filthy feet. Don't you dare dirty my Italian marble. The house interior was a palace of gleaming white tiles and crystal chandeliers. Expensive perfume hung in the air like invisible chains. Her cousins, Kemi and Tolu, barely glanced up from their phones. Their eyes held the coldness of strangers. Uncle Marcus strutted in like a predator sizing up prey. Ah, the village rat finally crawled in. His gaze stripped away what little confidence she had left. I hope she won't be dead weight around here. Belinda's smile was razor-sharp and terrifying. Oh, she'll be very useful, extremely useful. That night, Zara lay shivering on a thin mattress in a storage closet. No bed, no blanket, no hope. The cold concrete bit into her bones like punishment. Her mother's promises echoed mockingly in the darkness. Live like family, eat good food, go to school. All lies. All beautiful, heartbreaking lies. Tomorrow would reveal the horrifying truth. But deep in her breaking heart, she already knew. This wasn't salvation. This was hell. Wake up. Do you think this is your mother's hut where you sleep like the dead? Belinda's venomous shriek shattered Zara's exhausted sleep at dawn. Her body ached like she'd been beaten with wooden sticks. Get to the kitchen now, and wash those plates before my children wake up. Zara's bare feet hit the freezing tiles like electric shocks. She stumbled through the darkness, her soul already breaking. The kitchen was a battlefield of pure destruction. Mountains of greasy plates towered like monuments to her misery. Crusted pots filled with rotting food scraps that made her gag violently. This is impossible, her mind screamed in terror. Back home, she'd helped with simple, manageable chores. But this was designed to destroy her spirit completely. Her small hands trembled as she lifted the first plate. Dried soup clung like concrete to the surface. Oil slicked her fingers like liquid shame and disgust. Hours crawled by like wounded, dying animals. Her back screamed in agony from bending over the sink. Just as she finished the last spoon, Belinda's voice thundered from upstairs. Zara, sweep the entire living room and arrange every single chair. My guests arrive in 2 hours and I don't want one speck of dust. Zara's legs nearly collapsed beneath her exhausted frame. But pure fear drove her forward like a whip. She swept, scrubbed, and polished until the house gleamed like a museum. Her cousin Kemi sauntered in, chewing gum with deliberate, mocking slowness. Zara, go iron my school uniform perfectly without any mistakes. I don't want to see a single wrinkle anywhere on it. Zara hesitated for just one heartbeat of defiance. Kemi's eyes blazed with sudden, terrifying fury. Did you just say, but to me, stupid girl? If you annoy my mother, she'll throw you into the streets. Terror gripped Zara's throat like invisible, choking hands. She nodded frantically and rushed to obey immediately. By evening, her legs felt like they belonged to someone else entirely. She'd washed clothes, scrubbed bathrooms, and cooked elaborate, expensive meals. Yet nobody had asked if she'd eaten anything at all. Not even a single, tiny bite of food. Her stomach twisted in desperate, painful knots of hunger. She crept into the kitchen like a thief in the night. A small piece of bread sat abandoned on the counter. Just as her fingers touched salvation, a voice exploded behind her. "Thief! You came here to steal our food." Uncle Marcus towered over her like an avenging demon from hell, his face contorted with manufactured, theatrical rage that terrified her completely. "After gorging yourself in that village, you want to eat us into poverty? Drop that bread right now, you ungrateful little thief." Tears burned her eyes like pure acid as she slowly released her lifeline. Her empty stomach screamed in desperate protest and pain, but she swallowed her hunger along with her shattered, broken dignity. Walking back to her prison cell, one thought consumed her mind entirely. Is this really my new life forever? Days melted into weeks of pure, unrelenting torture and misery. Zara's existence became an endless cycle of backbreaking labor and soul-crushing humiliation. Dawn to midnight, she scrubbed, washed, cooked, and served like a machine. Yet no matter how perfectly she performed, it was never enough. Never good enough for these heartless, cruel monsters. One scorching afternoon, as she mopped the pristine marble floors carefully, Kemi approached with evil dancing wickedly in her eyes. Without any warning whatsoever, she kicked the bucket of soapy water violently across the room. "Oops," Kemi smirked with the cruelty of a devil incarnate. "Clean that up immediately, servant girl." Zara's hands clenched into fists that trembled with suppressed, burning rage. But she said absolutely nothing in response. Silence had become her only armor against their relentless, daily attacks. She grabbed her rag and started again, swallowing her fury like poison. That evening, Marcus returned with his wealthy, important friends for dinner. The house had to be absolutely flawless and perfect. The food had to be restaurant quality and delicious. "Zara!" Belinda's shriek could shatter glass windows throughout the neighborhood. "Set that table like your pathetic life depends on it completely. And don't you dare embarrass me in front of my guests." Zara moved with desperate, trembling precision, arranging plates and serving expensive dishes carefully. Her hands shook from pure exhaustion and overwhelming terror. As she poured orange juice into crystal glasses, her grip faltered dangerously. The cup slipped from her fingers and exploded against the marble floor. The sound echoed like a gunshot in the deadly, suffocating silence. "You stupid, worthless girl!" Belinda's scream could wake the dead. She grabbed Zara's ear and twisted it until stars exploded behind her eyes. "Do you know how much that imported glass cost me? More than your pathetic life is worth." Zara's tears fell like raindrops of pure agony. "I'm sorry, Auntie. Please forgive me." Belinda shoved her backward with violent, brutal force. "Sorry won't pay for my expensive property, you clumsy beast. No dinner for you tonight, you worthless creature. Now clean this mess before my important guests arrive here." As Zara knelt among the sharp glass fragments that could cut her, laughter echoed mockingly from the living room nearby. Marcus and his friends were already enjoying themselves completely, eating the delicious food she had cooked with her bleeding hands, sitting in the spotless home she had cleaned with her breaking back, while she, tired and starving, picked up shards like fragments of her shattered dreams. That evening, Marcus entertained more guests in his palace of cruelty. Zara carried a tray of expensive drinks, keeping her bruised face hidden carefully. Her hands trembled from exhaustion and barely suppressed pain throughout her body. "Ah, Marcus," one guest observed thoughtfully, watching Zara struggle with the heavy tray. "This househelp looks far too young for such brutal, demanding work." Marcus chuckled like it was the funniest joke in the world. "She's perfectly fine for this work, my friend. She needs to learn how to be useful in this life." The guest's eyebrows shot up with genuine, growing concern for her well-being. "But what about school? Shouldn't a child her age be getting an education?" Belinda rolled her eyes with theatrical, practiced disgust at the suggestion. "School? Who has money to waste on such complete nonsense? She came here to work hard, not to dream about impossible things." The guest stared at Zara, then back at Marcus with growing horror and disbelief. "This isn't right at all, my friend. Every child deserves the chance to learn and grow properly. You people are treating her exactly like a slave in your own home." Zara's heart exploded with complete shock and overwhelming surprise. No one had ever defended her before in this house of horrors. She stole a desperate glance at the man speaking for her. His face was genuinely kind, his eyes filled with real compassion and care. Someone actually cared about her suffering and pain. Belinda scoffed with practiced, cold dismissal of his concerns. Emeka, this is a private family matter that doesn't concern you. Let's discuss something more pleasant, shall we? But Emeka wasn't finished delivering his powerful, life-changing blow to their cruelty. Marcus, I absolutely insist on this important matter. I will personally sponsor this girl's complete education immediately. You cannot, and will not refuse my generous offer. The room fell into stunned, electric silence that could be cut with a knife. Zara's hands shook so violently, she nearly dropped the expensive tray. Was this miracle actually happening to her? Would she finally escape this educational prison forever? Belinda's face darkened with barely controlled, murderous rage. But she forced her lips into a plastic, fake smile. You better not waste this golden opportunity, ungrateful child. Hope flickered in her devastated heart. Real, tangible, life-changing hope at last. The next morning, Emeka arrived early with determination blazing in his eyes. Zara, get ready immediately. We're enrolling you in school today. His firm voice cut through the morning air like a sword of justice. Belinda forced a smile so fake it could crack mirrors. Ah, Emeka, there's no need to rush this matter at all. She has many important chores to complete first. Maybe next month would be better. No! Emeka's voice thundered with absolute authority and finality. A child's education is not something to delay or postpone. Let's go right now, Zara. Zara's heart hammered against her ribs like a caged bird desperate for freedom. She quickly wiped her trembling hands on her worn wrapper. This was actually happening to her. She was finally going to school like a real person. They arrived at a modest but decent school in the heart of Lagos. The headmistress, a strict-looking woman with surprisingly kind eyes, welcomed them warmly into her office. So you want to start your education here? She asked Zara gently. Yes, Ma, Zara replied, her voice barely above a terrified whisper. Do you know how to read and write properly? Zara hesitated, her confidence crumbling like old bread. A little, Ma. I used to go to school before I came to stay with my aunt permanently. The headmistress nodded with understanding and genuine compassion in her expression. We will place you in the appropriate class for your level. Work hard consistently, and don't disappoint us or yourself. Zara nodded eagerly, her eyes shining with desperate hope. I won't disappoint you, Ma. Thank you so much. Emeka paid all the school fees and bought her brand new supplies. For the first time in years, she held fresh books in her hands. She couldn't stop staring at them in complete wonder and disbelief. The covers were pristine, the pages crisp and clean. These books belonged to her now. As they left the school grounds together, Emeka turned to her seriously. Zara, this is your golden chance to change your future completely. Make excellent use of this opportunity I'm giving you. Tears of gratitude welled up in her eyes like precious diamonds. I will, sir. Thank you more than words can express. When they returned to the House of Horrors, Belinda barely spoke to her. But Zara didn't care about her aunt's cold shoulder anymore. She had something infinitely bigger to focus on now. Something that belonged entirely to her. Her education, her future, her hope. The next morning, she wore her new school uniform with trembling pride. It felt strange but absolutely wonderful against her skin. As she stepped out of the compound gates, Kemi sneered viciously from the window. Look at you. Do you think going to school will change anything? You'll always be our worthless house girl, no matter what. Zara didn't reply or even acknowledge the cruel words. She just walked past with her head held high for once. For the first time in years, she felt completely free. Zara stepped into the school compound with her heart pounding violently with excitement and terror. She had dreamed of this moment for so many long years. But now that it was actually happening, she felt completely out of place. Would the other students laugh at her obvious poverty? Would they somehow know she had been a house slave? She gripped her new books tightly as she walked into the classroom. The teacher, a middle-aged woman with a gentle, welcoming smile, gestured for her to come forward. Class, we have a new student joining us today. Her name is Zara, so please make her feel welcome here. A few students whispered curiously among themselves, but one girl named Ada smiled warmly at her. Come sit next to me, Ada offered kindly. There's an empty desk right here. Relief flooded through Zara like warm sunshine as she took the seat. The lessons began immediately, and though she struggled terribly at first, she listened carefully to every word. She was absolutely determined to catch up with everyone else. She would not waste this precious, life-changing chance. Days turned into weeks, and Zara poured her entire heart into her studies. She woke up even earlier than usual to complete all her chores before school. No matter how exhausted her body felt, she refused to give up. Her teachers noticed her incredible determination and dedication quickly. Soon she was catching up with her classmates at an amazing pace. One afternoon, as she was solving a difficult math problem on the blackboard, the teacher clapped enthusiastically. Well done, Zara. That answer is absolutely correct. Keep up this excellent work and effort. For the first time in her entire life, she felt genuinely proud of herself. Someone was praising her for something good she had accomplished. But back home, Belinda and Kemi were definitely not pleased with her success. So now you think you're better than us because you go to school? Kemi sneered viciously one evening as Zara sat quietly in the corner. She was trying to review her notes and homework assignments. Zara kept completely quiet and focused on her studies. She knew much better than to argue with them about anything. You better not fail miserably, Belinda added with cold menace in her voice. After all the trouble Emeka went through for your worthless education. Don't you dare disgrace us in front of him. Zara nodded obediently without looking up from her books. But deep inside her heart, she made a silent, powerful promise. She would never fail at this opportunity. She would make something incredible of herself, no matter what obstacles they threw at her. No matter how much they tried to break her spirit, education was her weapon now. Knowledge was her escape route, and nothing would stop her from succeeding. Zara's daily routine became a grueling cycle of hard work, endurance, and silent victories. She would wake up before dawn to complete every single chore perfectly, then rush to school, always making sure not to give Belinda or Kemi any reason to complain. But no matter how hard she tried to please them, they still found something to criticize harshly. One evening, as she was washing the dinner dishes, Kemi walked into the kitchen with her usual cruel smirk. You think going to school will change anything about your pathetic life? You're still nothing but a servant in this house, and you always will be. Zara ignored her completely and continued scrubbing the plates with determination. She had learned that responding only gave Kemi more power over her. Look at you, acting like you're something special now. Let's see how long you last before you drop out completely. Zara swallowed hard, refusing to let the poisonous words sink into her heart. Deep down, she knew the absolute truth about her situation. Education was her only way out of this nightmare. She would never, ever quit, no matter what they said. The next morning at school, her teacher made an important announcement. This exam will determine your final ranking in the class. Study well and give your absolute best effort. Zara felt a dangerous mix of fear and excitement coursing through her veins. She had been studying every single night under the dim security light. Her eyes were heavy, her hands ached constantly, but she pushed through. Weeks passed slowly, and the results were finally announced publicly. The teacher stood confidently in front of the class with the papers. I want to congratulate our top 3 students this term. In third place, we have Chijioke with excellent grades. In second place, Ada performed wonderfully as always. And in first place, the teacher paused dramatically, scanning the paper. Gasps filled the entire classroom as the name was announced. Zara, congratulations on your outstanding achievement. Zara's eyes widened in complete shock and disbelief. Had she actually heard correctly? Was this really happening to her? The teacher smiled broadly with genuine pride and admiration. Well done, Zara. You've made incredible progress in such a short time. For the first time in her entire existence, she felt truly seen. She had worked desperately hard for this moment. She had earned this victory through pure determination. That night, as she cleared the dinner table as usual, Belinda's voice cut through the silence. So you think you're smart now that school is getting to your head? Let me warn you clearly, Zara, don't forget your place in this house. Zara simply nodded obediently without showing any emotion. But deep inside her heart, she made another powerful promise to herself. She would rise above all of the suffering, no matter what it took. Her education was just the beginning of her transformation. Zara's victory in class only made life infinitely harder at home. Belinda and Kemi were absolutely relentless, looking for any excuse to frustrate her completely. They made her do extra chores, barely let her sleep properly, and even tried to hide her school books. But Zara refused to break under their increased pressure. One evening, as she ironed their expensive school uniforms, Kemi snatched Zara's precious notebook from the table. She flipped through it carelessly with deliberate malice. "So you think you're a genius now? What are you even writing in this stupid book?" Zara remained completely silent, her hands gripping the hot iron tightly. She had learned to pick her battles very carefully. Kemi scoffed and tossed the notebook carelessly onto the dirty floor. "Clean that up, house girl, before I tell my mother you're being disrespectful." Zara bent down calmly, picked up her notebook, and dusted it off gently. She would not let their cruelty destroy her precious dreams. At school, her teacher, Mrs. Okafor, noticed how exhausted Zara looked constantly. "Zara, is everything perfectly all right? You seem very distracted lately." Zara hesitated before nodding quickly. "I'm fine, Ma. Just tired from studying hard." Mrs. Okafor didn't believe her excuse, but she didn't push further. Instead, she handed Zara a small packet of biscuits kindly. "Eat something nutritious. You're doing exceptionally well, but you need strength too." Zara's eyes welled up with grateful tears. It had been so long since anyone showed her genuine kindness. "Thank you so much, Ma." That evening, she studied harder than ever before. The upcoming term exams were absolutely crucial for her future. She refused to let anything hold her back from success. She wrote notes carefully in the dim glow of the security light. Her mind was sharp despite her physical exhaustion. Weeks later, the exam results were announced with great ceremony. Zara had not only topped her class again triumphantly, she had achieved the highest score in the entire school. Her teacher beamed with incredible pride and amazement. "Zara, the principal wants to see you immediately." Zara's heart pounded with nervous anticipation as she entered the office. The principal, an elderly man with a warm, genuine smile, gestured for her to sit down. "Young lady, you have an extraordinary gift that shouldn't be wasted. Your hard work and dedication are absolutely inspiring to everyone. We have decided to give you a complete full scholarship. Your school fees, books, and uniform will all be taken care of permanently." Zara gasped in total shock and disbelief. "Sir, are you completely serious about this?" The principal chuckled warmly. "Very serious, my dear child. Keep working hard consistently." That night, Zara couldn't sleep at all. Not because of exhaustion, but because of overwhelming hope. For the first time in years, she felt real, tangible hope. Her future was finally beginning to look brighter than ever. When Zara returned home that evening, she was bursting with incredible excitement about her scholarship. A full scholarship felt absolutely unreal, like a dream come true. But as she stepped into the house, her joy immediately faded into dread. Belinda was standing by the door with arms crossed menacingly, a deep frown carved into her face. "Where have you been for so long?" she demanded with ice-cold fury. Zara hesitated nervously before answering. "School, Ma. I had extra lessons with my teacher today." "Did I not tell you to come back immediately after closing? There are mountains of clothes waiting to be washed. Do you think you are a queen because you can read some books?" Zara lowered her gaze submissively, knowing better than to argue with her. That night, as she scrubbed the bathroom floor on her hands and knees, she replayed the principal's life-changing words in her head. "Your hard work is absolutely inspiring to everyone here." She held on to those precious words like a lifeline in stormy seas. No matter what happened in this house of horrors, she had a real future ahead. Days turned into weeks, and Zara's scholarship became the talk of the entire school. Even teachers who had barely noticed her before began paying serious attention. But at home, Belinda and Kemi's bitterness only grew like poisonous weeds. They doubled her workload cruelly, forcing her to stay up late and wake up before dawn. One Saturday morning, while Zara was outside washing a mountain of dirty clothes, her uncle's friend Mr. Okafor arrived unexpectedly. He watched her working for several minutes before calling out loudly, "Zara, come here immediately." She wiped her soapy hands on her worn wrapper and walked toward him. Her head was slightly bowed in respect. "Good afternoon, sir." Mr. Okafor glanced at the enormous heap of clothes, then at the tired, defeated look etched on her face. You are still doing all these exhausting chores? Are they not sending you to school regularly? Before Zara could answer honestly, Belinda's sharp voice rang out from the house. Ah, Brother Okafor. She is just helping out around here. She is a very stubborn, ungrateful girl, so we make sure she stays busy. Mr. Okafor's expression hardened with growing anger and disgust. Helping out? Every single time I come here, this child is working like a slave. Do you people even let her rest properly? Belinda forced another fake smile. She is part of our family. This is how children learn responsibility. Mr. Okafor scoffed with obvious disbelief. I see exactly what's happening here. Zara, come to my office on Monday morning. I will arrange something much better for you. Zara's heart skipped several beats with overwhelming hope. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. As Mr. Okafor walked into the house, Belinda shot Zara a murderous, threatening look. You better not say anything foolish when you go there. Zara knew this was her most important turning point. Something life-changing was about to happen. Monday morning arrived like a gift from heaven itself. Zara dressed carefully in her cleanest school uniform, hands trembling with nervous anticipation. The scholarship had provided new clothes, and for once she didn't have to wear Kemi's old, oversized hand-me-downs. She still had chores to complete before leaving, but she moved with lightning speed. She was determined not to be late for school or the meeting with Mr. Okafor. Belinda watched her closely as she swept the compound with suspicious eyes. Remember what I told you clearly, she warned with menacing coldness. Don't go there and start running your big mouth. If he asks anything, you better say everything is perfectly fine here. Zara nodded without saying a single word. Inside her racing heart, excitement was building like a volcano. After school, she made her way to Mr. Okafor's impressive office building. He was a well-respected businessman in Lagos, and she felt incredibly small standing outside his grand office. The secretary finally called her name after what felt like hours. When the door opened, she took a deep breath and stepped inside. Mr. Okafor smiled warmly at her. Zara, sit down comfortably. How are you feeling today? I'm fine, sir. Good afternoon, sir. He studied her carefully for a long moment before leaning forward seriously. I won't waste your precious time with small talk. I've seen exactly how your aunt treats you, and I absolutely hate it. A child should never suffer like that in anyone's home. Your scholarship is a blessing, but I want to do much more for you. Zara blinked in confusion, unsure of what he meant exactly. I have spoken directly to the school administration about your situation. They will allow you to stay in the school hostel permanently. That way you can focus completely on your studies without any distractions. Zara's mouth fell open in complete shock and disbelief. Sir, the hostel? He nodded with determination blazing in his eyes. Yes, I will cover all the fees personally. You deserve so much better than what they are doing to you. Do you want this opportunity, Zara? Tears welled up in her eyes like precious diamonds. 4 years, she had endured unbearable pain in complete silence. Now someone was finally giving her a real way out. She nodded quickly, unable to speak through her overwhelming emotions. Yes, sir. I want it more than anything. Mr. Okafor smiled with genuine satisfaction. Good. I'll handle everything immediately. Just go home today and act completely normal. Don't tell them anything yet about our plan. By next week, you will move to the hostel permanently. Zara swallowed back a sob of pure relief. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. As she left the office, a new feeling bloomed powerfully inside her chest. Hope, real, undeniable, life-changing hope. For the first time ever, she saw light at the end of a tunnel. She was finally going to be completely free. Zara kept her excitement buried deep as she walked home that evening. Her heart was racing with joy, but she knew better than to show it. If Belinda or Kemi suspected anything, they would destroy her chance at freedom. She had only a few more days in that house, and she wasn't risking everything now. When she arrived, Belinda was already frowning with her usual displeasure. Why are you late again, you worthless girl? Extra lessons, Zara replied quickly, avoiding all eye contact. Belinda scoffed with disgust. Always one pathetic excuse after another. Go and fetch water immediately. Zara nodded and hurried outside to complete her tasks. As she carried the heavy buckets back and forth, she reminded herself constantly, just a few more days of his torture. That night, lying on the thin mattress in the corner, she couldn't sleep. She kept imagining what life would be like in the school hostel. No more waking up before dawn to scrub floors. No more vicious insults from Belinda and Kemi. No more eating leftover scraps after everyone had finished. The next morning, she maintained her exact same routine perfectly. She scrubbed, cooked, and ran errands without showing any change. Belinda didn't suspect anything unusual was happening. But as the days passed, Kemi began giving her increasingly suspicious looks. On Friday night, as they lay in the cramped room, Kemi suddenly turned toward her. "What's going on with you lately?" she asked, her voice low but sharp. Zara stiffened with fear. "What do you mean exactly? You've been acting strangely different. You don't look as miserable as before. Did something happen that you're hiding from us?" Zara forced a small, nervous laugh. "Nothing happened. I'm just tired. You're lying to my face." Kemi cut in, sitting up aggressively. "Tell me the truth right now, or I'll tell my mother you're hiding secrets." Zara's breath caught in her throat like a trapped bird. If Belinda found out about the hostile plan, everything would be ruined. She took a deep, shaky breath. "Fine. I got a hostel space at school. I'll be moving next week." Kemi's eyes widened in complete shock and surprise. "What? Who arranged that for you?" "Mr. Okafor. He organized everything for my education." For a moment, Kemi said absolutely nothing at all. Then, to Zara's complete surprise, she smirked with something like approval. "So you're finally leaving this place for good? Good for you, I suppose." Zara frowned in confusion. "You won't tell your mother about this?" Kemi shrugged with unexpected indifference. "No, but you better pray she doesn't find out another way. If she does, you won't leave this house in one piece." Zara swallowed hard with growing anxiety. She had to be extremely careful now. Just a few more days, and she would be completely free forever. The most dangerous part was almost over. Her new life was finally within reach. The final day arrived like the dawn of a new world. Zara could barely contain her excitement as she packed her few belongings secretly. Mr. Okafor was waiting at the school gate at exactly noon. Belinda had given her permission to go to the market, creating the perfect cover story. Her small bag was hidden behind the backyard water drum. But just as she was about to leave forever, Belinda's voice rang out menacingly. "Zara, where do you think you're going dressed like that?" Zara's heart stopped completely, but she forced herself to stay calm. "To the market, Ma." Belinda's eyes narrowed with dangerous suspicion. "Dressed so neatly for the dirty market?" "Yes, Ma. I don't want my clothes to get ruined." Belinda folded her arms, watching her with the intensity of a predator. "Come back quickly, or there will be serious trouble." "Yes, Ma," Zara replied, holding her breath as she stepped out. The moment she turned the corner, she ran like her life depended on it. She grabbed her hidden bag and sprinted toward freedom. Mr. Okafor was waiting in his car, smiling warmly. "Are you ready for your new life?" "Yes, sir. More than ready." As they drove away, Zara didn't look back once. For the first time in years, she was completely free. 15 years later, the black Mercedes pulled up to the familiar compound gates. But now, those same gates looked small and ordinary. A woman stepped out, dressed in an expensive business suit. Her jewelry sparkled in the afternoon sun. This was Zara, no longer the broken servant girl. She was now the owner of the largest shopping mall chain in West Africa. Her business empire was worth millions of dollars. She walked confidently to the front door and knocked. The same door that had once imprisoned her dreams. Belinda opened it, now looking much older and worn down. Her eyes widened in complete shock and disbelief. "Zara, is that really you?" "Hello, Aunt Belinda. May I come in?" Inside, the house looked exactly the same but somehow smaller. Kemi sat on the couch, unmarried and unemployed at 35. Marcus had lost his business years ago due to corruption. They were struggling financially, living off past glory. "We heard you became successful," Belinda said awkwardly. "Very successful," Zara replied calmly. "Actually, I have some news that might interest you." She pulled out an official document from her briefcase. "I've just purchased this house and the entire compound." You have 30 days to vacate permanently. Belinda's face went completely white with shock. What? You can't do this to family. Zara smiled with the same coldness Belinda had once shown her. Family, she repeated slowly. The same family that made me sleep on concrete floors. The same family that starved me and called me worthless. You taught me exactly what family means. She stood up gracefully, her revenge complete. Oh, and Belinda, there's one more thing. The new owners will need a house girl. Someone to scrub floors and wash dishes. Are you interested in the position? Belinda's mouth fell open in horror as the truth hit her. The servant had become the master, and karma had finally come home.